Yo guys, today we're in After Effects with 3 brand new creative transitions. I'll also share the project file and all assets for free. Just grab them from the link in the description and see how everything works inside. But first, let's check out the effects and see how they're made. Alright guys, our first transition is the lightning effect transition. I really love this one. It looks super cinematic. To start, I want to slow down the clip right when the lightning strikes. So I'm gonna use the time warp effect for that smooth, slow motion. Oh, by the way, I already made a cut right where the effect starts, but you don't have to cut it if you don't want to. Totally up to you. By default, time warp starts at 50. Let's change it to 100 and add a keyframe there. Then go 1 frame forward and set the speed to 10 for that dramatic slowdown. Now you can stretch the clip a bit and I'll cut it right before it starts to break or distort. Perfect. Now let's bring in our second scene and set the position. Yeah, looks like this. Alright, now let's bring in the lightning overlay into our project. Drag it right where the transition starts. And let's adjust the scale, position and rotation to fit your scene. You can place it wherever it looks best, totally up to your taste. Now, after the lightning shows up for a few seconds in the second scene, I'm just gonna remove the rest of overlay. We don't need it to stay for too long. I want to change the color of this lightning, so I'll use the hue saturation effect. Just apply it to the overlay and rotate the master hue until you find a color you like. To make it even stronger, I'll add deep glow. You can also use any other glow effect if you want. Let's brighten it up a bit. And done. Here's how it looks right now. Now to make the effect even better, we're gonna add a smoke overlay. Drag the overlay into your project and place it right when the lightning strikes. This will make the transition look a lot more realistic and cinematic. Now go to the mode option of the overlay and change it to screen. I'm putting it so it also covers a bit of the second scene, that way it blends the 2 shots more naturally. Alright guys, here's how it looks so far. Pretty cool, right? Now it's time for the final hit, the one that makes everything come together perfectly. I'm gonna use one of my own transitions from the Cineff Grunge bundle pack to show you how it works. And by the way, if you can't afford the pack right now, no worries, I'll show you an easy free version of this transition next. Before we continue, let me quickly show you the pack. Inside, you'll find amazing transitions and effects, also 10 dope overlay transitions that make your videos look grittier, dirtier, or more cinematic, depending on your style. You know when you add effects and transitions, but something still feels missing? That's exactly what these effects fix. Just drag and drop, and your videos instantly look more professional. If you're interested, the link is in the description, or you can check it out on cineff.com. Alright, now back to the video. I'll add an adjustment layer and simply drag the melt flash transition from the pack onto it. And boom, everything changes instantly. To remove those black edges you see on the sides, I'll add a motion tile effect. Set output width and height to around 400, enable mirror edges, and move motion tile to the top. I'll also make the lightning in the second scene a bit bigger and move it slightly, just to make it look cool. Yeah, I like it, looks really cool. Alright, now let's move on to a simpler and easier version of the effect. So first, delete all the effects we added on the top adjustment layer. Now, let's start fresh. I'll begin with the S flicker effect to create that flashing light vibe. Set the amplitude to around 1 to make it a bit stronger. As you can see, we get that nice light flicker already. Next, I'll add the S hotspots effect to give the clip a bit more contrast and a cinematic look. Here, we'll add a keyframe for the threshold right in the middle of both clips. Set it to around 0.2, so just adjust it by eye until it feels right. Then go back to the beginning and set it to 0, and at the very end also bring it back down to 0. After that, let's add S-Distort Chroma. Increase the blur lens to somewhere between 700 and 800. Then at the start, set amount to 0 and add a keyframe. In the middle, make it around 0.4 and at the end, bring it back down to 0 again. Once all your keyframes are ready, select them all and press F9 to easy ease. That'll smooth everything out perfectly. And that's it. Even though it's a simple version, it still looks really good and professional. You'll find all these effects inside the project file, so feel free to experiment and customize it however you like. Alright, let's move on to the next transition. Alright guys, our next transition is the glass break effect. As you can see, we've got two clips here. First, we'll take the last frame of the first clip, right click on it, go to time, freeze frame, and that's gonna freeze our shot perfectly. Now grab the edge of that frozen clip and extend it to the end, then right click again and choose pre-compose. Make sure move all attributes is selected and hit OK. Since we've got a small gap in the middle, I'll drag the second clip one frame forward to line it up nicely. Now let's jump into the actual effect. We'll be using the shatter effect for this one. After adding it, we'll only need three main sections: shape, force, and physics. First, let's remove those weird lines on the screen. Just go to View, Rendered. Boom, clean view, only the cracks left. Next, inside pattern, change the shape from bricks to glass. Now it actually looks like a real glass shatter. The cracks are a bit too small right now, so let's increase the repetitions to around 8. Much better. The shards look bigger and more natural, but the glass still looks too thick, kind of like stone. So in extrusion depth, lower it to around 0.05 for a thinner, more realistic look. After the glass breaks, the particles spin too fast, so let's go into physics and lower the rotation speed to 0.1. Finally, to fix those unbroken edges around the sides, go into force 1 and set the radius to about 0.45, and that's it. Alright guys, for the final touch, I'm gonna use one of the transitions from my own pack, the Cineff Essential Effects and Transitions pack. Then I'll also show you a free and simple version in case you don't have the pack. So first, let's add an adjustment layer, and with it selected, I'll just double-click one of the effects from the pack, and boom, that's it. We've added a beautiful, colorful transition that makes the whole shot look even better. If you want to get these effects, the link is in the description, cineff.com. Now, let's delete this effect layer and I'll show you how to recreate something similar manually. First, add the S-Shake effect. Enable motion blur, then set the frequency to 5. Right where the glass break starts, set the amplitude to 1300 and add a keyframe. Move forward a few frames and bring it back down to 0. Next, let's add exposure for a quick flash effect. On the first frame, set exposure equals 2, then move forward a few frames and hit reset to bring it back to normal. Select all keyframes and press F9 to easy ease them. That'll smooth everything out nicely. And finally, let's add one more touch, S-Flicker, to make the impact look even more powerful. And that's it, our second transition is done. Simple, clean, and looks amazing. Now let's move on to the third and final effect. Alright guys, we finally made it to the last effect. This one's honestly one of my favorites. I use it all the time in music videos. You can use it with text or just as a clean transition. Totally up to you. I've already slowed down both clips for a smoother look. First, I'll add my text and then apply deep glow to make it pop a bit more. I'll set the blend mode to overlay so it blends nicely with the clip, but as you can see, it got a bit too soft. To fix that, I'll lower the opacity of the clip below to about 40%, and now it looks clearer and more cinematic. Let's also add a quick S-Flicker. A bit of flicker never hurts, right? Now I'll select both the clips and the text, right-click and choose Pre-Compose with Move All Attributes checked. Hit OK. Time to add the main effect, S-Time Slice. It's a sapphire effect and super easy to use. Just set the slice number to 10 and enable interp frames. Boom. That's it. As you can see, the transition looks nice already, but we can make it look even more powerful and fluid. Let's go back inside the pre-comp, add an adjustment layer, and cut it right where the transition happens. Now, from my Cineff Essential Effects and Transitions pack, I'll double-click the 9 trip shot effect, and boom again. Going back to the main comp, you can see how it perfectly blends with the time slice effect, giving you that smooth, liquid style flow. It looks absolutely stunning. If you're interested in this pack, the link is down in the description, cineff.com. Inside, you'll find tons of transitions and cinematic effects that'll save you a ton of editing time. And you know what they say, more time equals more money. Recently, a lot of editors have started using this pack and the feedback has been amazing. And that's it for today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. You can download the project file and all overlays from the link below in the description. Also, make sure to follow me on Instagram at Cineff Visuals for quick, short tutorials and behind-the-scenes tips. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.